Yo, what up, what up? You feasting your eyes on the one and only Louie P. We here at Roc Runna Radio about to do this interview. Dollar in the Dream is out today. Go to thatpiff.com, download your copy. Thatpiff.com, log on, Hustlemusik, Louie P. We do it big. Let's go.
Louie, you all we got. Rockland's finest radio show, hosted by the Runners. We run the rock.
Because, you know, these cats are bringing lyricism back to the forefront.
That's what everybody's been asking for, saying hip hop is dead. Well,
very well. Slaughterhouse is here
to revive it, yes sir.
Slaughterhouse is here, and that's what it is. Basically coming up, we got let's say William Styles with a Mr. Confidence featuring Peso and Jake 2, and then after that is my man Still a Mess with Back to the Crib. You know what I'm saying? Off that Roc Runna Radio mixtape coming soon. You know what I'm saying? Volume 1 coming soon, and then after that, you know what I'm saying? Chris Brown's newest artist, TJ the Lover Boy with Amnesia. And then to end off that countdown, I got my man Alan E from 247 with Stellar Living, coming off that Stellar Living mixtape, coming soon also. And then after that, we got the Engineer's Corner, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, with yours truly, where I'll be going over some stuff as far as the knowledge on sound engineering. Y'all need to hit us up, you know what I'm saying? 347-633-9050 to talk to us, you know what I'm saying? You know, once again, 347-633-9050. We got Louie P in the building. We're going to chop it up with him a little bit later about his mixtape dropping tonight at 8, Dollar in the Dream, and that's what it is.
Roc Runna Radio Show. We got Louie P in the building. Big Veg as well, baby. Doing it, man. It's a great show going on. Shout out to Future Eye Media in the building, taking care of us the way we need to be taken care of.
You already know.
Right there, that music you heard was William Styles of 51 AMG with A Mist of Confidence. Second up, we had Still a Mess with the Back on My Ish freestyle. Track number 3 was Chris Brown's newly acquired artist TJ the Lover Boy. Shout out to him, man. The show he was on had crazy views. And last but not least, we had Alan E with Stellar Living. And without further ado, we're going to get into my man Big Veg's segment, which is the Engineer's Corner. We're going to put y'all on to all the ins and outs of how to do your own thing and possibly be as great as he is one day. Right?
That's what it is. Without further ado, let's get into the interview with my man Louie P. Precise, it's on you, my brother.
Yes, sir, Louie P in the building with Future Eye Media, baby. What's good? Can we get a hand clap for this, man?
What's going on,
Let's
man?
definitely get a hand clap. What's going on, baby?
Thanks for having me, man. Really
Louie P, if you're not familiar with him, been dropping joints constantly. I believe he's at the top of the whole hustle music regime. I mean, Jay Black, rest in peace. Greg Pax, also Shayla Set, which is a very fantastic R&B singer. Had the pleasure of, you know, getting up with the whole squad with the Rockstar DVD, which can be checked out at youtube.com/RocRunnaENT. So what's going on, Louie P, man? How's everything, brother?
I mean, everything's good, man. You know, it's just a grind right now. You know, I got the Dollar in the Dream tape dropping in about 35 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just been working on that promo. You know what I mean?
That's what's up, man. You really go hard in what you do, man. I can tell when you spit, when you make your songs, that you take a lot of time to put thought into what you're doing. You're not just making tracks. Because like you said, if you wanted to, you could drop mixtapes all the time. I'm saying left and right, but you're moving with a very precise strategy, if I might say so myself. So I definitely recognize that. UMA nominee, unfortunately, I'm saying didn't bring it back home to Rockland, but it's definitely a very great honor that you were, I'm saying, recognized and have that privilege.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was an honor just to be nominated. You know what I'm saying? So because, you know, like out of the, you know, thousands and thousands of people that could have been picked, you know, just for 5 nominees for one category, you know, I was one. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Emperor Chi, shout out to Joe Vaughn, shout out to Persia. You know, they were all nominated as well. So, you know, that in itself is an honor. You know what I mean?
That's what's up. So tell us about that whole experience, because I'm saying we the small guys, we don't get to go to events like that. So let us know how that whole experience was, man.
I mean, that experience was cool. You know what I mean? Houdini got honored. You know what I mean? They tore it down. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got to network with a lot of artists in the building, a lot of producers, a few managers. You know, I try to take advantage of every opportunity. You know, showcases, award shows like that. Any opportunity where I can network with people in my field, you know, I try to do that.
And that's a good luck, man, because you really are working with a lot of people in your field, not just from a local standpoint, also from the industry. I mean, I don't want to put the names out there. I'm gonna let you talk to the people. I mean, it's very impressive how you're able to, you know, reach out. I told you this before, and penetrate the industry and get, you know, a lot of these other artists that aren't necessarily in reach to, you know, the local artists. So for the people who aren't really familiar with you, just, I'm saying, just real quick, school them on who you have worked with in the industry.
Oh, I mean, way back when, you know, I worked with J Hood, I worked with Fred the Godson, Corey Guns. I got a new track on my new tape with female MC by the name of Nitty Scott MC. You know, her tape's out now. You know what I mean? Shout out to Nitty Scott. You know, I've had the pleasure of opening for, you know, a lot of, you know, Joel Santana, Olivia, Papoose, Corey Guns recently is Sunday. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just trying to get out there. You know, try to get out of your comfort zone. Try to get out of your, you know, your local. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, and the thing about that too is it makes you want to step up your whole presentation, because once again, these are artists who are established in what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So you coming from, you know, a local standpoint, you're stepping into that environment, so it's like, all right, I have to, you know, do better than the usual. I gotta, you know, stay on top of my game, do as good as them, if not better.
Yeah, because you know what the thing is, you know, when I did the track with Corey Guns in New York, you know, that was when I first met Fred the Godson. You know what I'm saying? So I took a picture with him. At the time when I met him, I didn't know who he was. You know, this is before So Crazy dropped. You know what I mean? And a few other people, Hollow the Dawn and Conceited, you know, a lot of them were there, and they were, you know, all in that environment, and I had no idea who they were. You know what I mean? And then a year later, you know, you see Fred the Godson, you know, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So just being in that experience is like, you know, it's that close. You know what I'm saying? Just 1 year ago, I met this guy and he was not what he is. And in the course of 1 year, you know what I'm saying, I saw how fast he's progressed to where he's at. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, me being around those people and being around that type of environment is motivation, because it's like, you know, it's not as far as people think it is. You know, that kind of goes into why I titled this $1 in a Dream, because a lot of times people make it seem like, oh, you rap. You know, there's probably like 1,000 people in rock in that rap. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of people make it seem like, oh, go to school, you're never gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you make it seem like a Jay-Z or 50 Cent, that status is untouchable and it's immortal. Like, they all started out with the same thing you start out with, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. And honestly, someone like a 50, you know, they actually, as far as me comparing myself to him, started out worse than me, because, you know, he started out with a record, you know what I'm saying? And he never worked a 9 to 5. He had a kid, and he had everything against him, and he was able to pursue it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, no one's gonna believe in you anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you can't convince no one you hide. You know what I'm saying? If you can't even convince yourself.
Yeah, that's true. It all starts with you and within yourself. Yeah. And a lot of people really get it twisted. They, you know, see these statuses like, you know, Jay-Z and 50 and Nas and all these artists that are established, but at one point they were, you know what I'm saying, at a basic level. You have to work really hard to get to the point where these artists are at right now. And a lot of people just want to skip towards that whole building phase. I'm saying, just get things going to happen overnight. Yeah. Like, nothing happens overnight, so you really got to put in that work.
Because, you know, the thing about it is everyone thinks it's fast money. Like, a lot of people that do rap, in my opinion now, they see it as fast money. I don't got to go to school, I can rap, so I'm going to make this. You know what I'm saying? So they don't want to, when they see how much work it actually is, how much of it, you know, going traveling, getting your name out, going to events, doing shows, perfecting your craft, working on your image, investing in yourself, and they don't want to do that because, you know, they think it's just, I can spit so I can be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? If your heart's not in it, you're not going to make it. You know what I'm saying? You have to actually be passionate about it, whether people think you're good or not. If this is your passion, you know what I'm saying? You know, I salute you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you definitely have to be an individual, a lot of versatility too, because getting into the game is more than just having attractive lyrics.
Yeah.
You got to be able to handle yourself business-wise. You have to know the right people to talk to, and you got to conduct yourself in a professional manner. A lot of people just think, you know, you just rapping and that's it. There's so much more to the game. And we spoke about putting in work. Right now I got a few mixtapes that you've been putting in. We have one, Who is Louie P? This is all on datpiff.com, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking at datpiff.com. You can check out his new tape, $1 in a Dream, and also his previous mixtapes. He's dropped Who is Louie P? The Takeover, Kingpin Dreams, and my personal favorite, God's Gift, which was a crazy summer bang, which is actually when I first got put onto you. When I heard it was you, Red Paxton, and Jay Black, man, that was a great mixtape. It really displayed a lot of lyricism, and I liked it, man. There's a lot of mixtapes I listen to out here, like I like them, but I really felt your joint. I was kind of rapping at the time. When I heard that, I was like, yo, I gotta really go. Like this guy Louie P and his team, they're really putting in work right now.
I mean that was my first official like mixtape that I actually put out there to the public. You know, that was like back in the time where it's like, all right, the punchline rap was what was really popping, and it's like I kind of emulated that. Like it's like I want to show these people that I can spit. So it's like, you know, boom, I hit you with the punchline rap. But as I progressed as an artist, you know, I actually wanted to be, you know, I wanted to be real. I wanted to actually speak about things. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, every time I meet an artist that's never actually met me in person, most of the time they always say, "Oh, my favorite record from you is Conspiracy." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's this record I did.
I like that record a lot.
And you know, that kind of tells me something, because it's like, you know, almost anyone could think of, you know, punchlines if you really actually trying to think of it, but not everyone could use your lyrical ability to, you know, make a record that's meaningful and really touch someone. You know what I'm saying?
So, and truth. Yeah, and Conspiracy, I mean, bar for bar, it just made so much sense. It was more than a track to just listen to and bop my head to. Like, you were really saying a lot of meaningful things that I'm sure a lot of people have thought about before, but just weren't able to put it out on record. And that was definitely a good record that exemplified what hip hop should be. Those types of records with a nice theme. You know, for choice of lesser words.
And it's the feedback like that actually is my guiding tool into how I figure out like what I want to do next. Like when I did Kingpin Dreams and I did other projects, you know, it was all cool and dandy doing certain things, but I wanted to do a tape where it's like I can look back at it and it's like 100% me. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times you pinpoint something like, oh, that was a hot bar, but you know he's not really that. Like, oh, you know he don't got that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas this tape, A Dollar in a Dream, you know, every record is 100%. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my new single, Life is a Prison, you know, is kind of like speaking on just my view of how the game is smoke and mirrors. You know what I'm saying? And how a lot of things that are like, you know, people say what's hot, what's popping, what's this. A lot of times it's just people following a trend. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I have a bar in it where I said, you know, Tiger said snapbacks back, so you went and brought that cat when he said he brought that back. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you know, it's just what I see. You know, this person, it's monkey see, monkey do. This person does this, I want to do this now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's probably the one thing, like, if I would pinpoint something about doing this that I really am not a fan of, it's that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's the lack of being yourself. You know, it's like everyone wants to be like the next guy, be like this dude, and if you're not, you're looked at as an outcast.
Yeah, and that's why I think hip hop has such a problem with evolution right now, because as you mentioned before, you know, it's a monkey see, monkey do.
Exactly.
I noticed when Lil Wayne came out and he started getting his buzz a lot, I'm saying a lot of people started, you know, going that direction with the type of punchlines and stuff that he was doing. Like, you know, that music is all good, but I want to go back to, you know, the Nas. When Nas dropped his last album that he dropped, like, people felt so refreshed, because it was what real hip hop did. It was going left from, you know, what the actual typical trend of what hip hop is right now. You know what I'm saying? So he took that chance, and that's kind of what you do in your music, man. So tell us about this Dollar in the Dream project and what you had on your mind when you were making it.
I mean, what I had on my mind was basically just trying to do something that's not influenced by anything out. You know what I'm saying? Like you pointed out with Nas's album when it dropped. You know, I went out and bought it the first day it dropped. You know what I mean? And it is a breath of fresh air from all of the things you hear on the radio and you constantly hear. It's like, you know, me and my boy was talking one day. It's like, you know, you listen to the radio. If you sit and listen to the radio all day, you literally will hear the same records every hour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, multiple times.
I remember I was driving in my car, and I'm driving early in the morning, and the Old School Noon comes on, and I turned it all the way up. And I normally don't listen to the radio like that anymore. I turned it up. I'm like, I'm jamming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they're playing Dipset, D Block, G, like the old film. Like, that's what I like. And then all of a sudden, it's like, it's just no break. It just cuts into like a now record. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
the whole feeling is gone. Yeah, that Old School I knew it. It really does bring you back, man, to that real good hip hop, man. Hip hop is alright nowadays, but it's just not, you know, what it once was, man. You know?
I mean, it changes. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say hip hop is dead. Hip hop is, you know, it evolves. At the end of the day, you know, it's like everything. Time moves on, things move on. So at the end of the day, you know, it may not be something that's as popping as it once was in some people's eyes, but it's just different. You know what I mean?
I feel you. So tell us about some other tracks, because I know you said you're kind of taking a different approach on this mixtape. Let us know about one of the songs that you felt was kind of different from, you know, Louie P. I know you mentioned that you had a singer on your album also, a R&B track. So tell us about that track.
I mean, I have a few joints with singers. I have a joint called "Rise to the Top" featuring Chelsea Davis, and it's you know, it has a different sound than a normal record that I've done, but it's a similar message. You know, it's just speaking about prospering through hate, prospering through people telling you can't do it, and all of this. You know, and it makes the story that much better when you do good. You know what I mean? And you know, I have other records. You know, I have a few records for the ladies on there. I have a record called "Somebody Like You." I have a record called "Dream Girl." Both of those are featuring a singer by the name of Nathaniel. You know, he works with K-Slay. He's on Pat Boost's new Boot Up single. Shout out to him. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm looking forward to see how people take to this type of, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not necessarily what you're used for me. Like a lot of people, when they hear me, they're used to a certain lyrical content that they might favor, whether they like me or not. You know what I'm saying? But this is more so, you know, it's just being true. You know, I have a record on there, Letter to Jason Black. You know what I'm saying? And that was something I did based upon me wanting to do it, not based upon, you know, no offense to anyone. I don't mean to insult anyone, but you know, when something happens and it's quote unquote hot news and everyone jumps on it, you know what I'm saying?
It seems sincere.
Exactly. You know, a lot of people approach me and ask me to get on records, or when you're gonna do a record, you should do a record. You know, and as I told them at the time when that happened, I wasn't even thinking about rapping. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took me a while to actually write that. You know what I mean? To actually even speak on that, because it was something that affected me to such a degree that it almost made me want to like not continue. You know what I mean? It was like I've never had that type of a loss. You know what I mean? And even recording the record, it was so hard for me to get through that whole record. You know what I'm saying? So it was just something I always said I was gonna do when I felt it the most. You know what I'm saying? Like at the time, it was more, when it happened, it was just shock. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe this happened. But you know, when I was ready to do it, you know, I said that's when I'll do it. So you know, I was ready to do it and I did it. You know, it wasn't anything that, oh, this is promotion. No, I didn't even put it out as a single. It's just on it. It's something that a lot of the people aren't even going to understand, because I'm speaking about a lot of things that me and him went through. You know what I'm saying? Because it's what it is. It's a letter to him. You know what I'm saying? It's a letter to him for his years, and only people that were really in that circle will understand. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a personal record that I wanted to do.
It's good. It's good to see artists, you know, do more than just rap nowadays. Because when I listen to artists, I like to get a feel for who they are.